Hi, it's Pauline from Mother Bunch Crochet. In this video I'm going to show you how to make one of these diamond textured face scrubbies. So what you're going to need is some 10-ply or worsted weight cotton yarn, and 100% cotton works best, and a 4mm hook. So we want the hook to be a bit smaller than you would normally use with the yarn, so that you get a nice tight texture. So let's start. So to start, we need to do a slip knot, and then we're going to chain 14 and chain loosely. You can go up a hook size if you know that you tend to chain quite tight. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So that's 14 chains. And then what you want to do is skip the first chain on the hook and work into the second one. And I like to work into the back bumps because it gives you a neat edge. So we're going to do a half double crochet into that second chain from the hook, and now just work a half double crochet in each stitch to the end. So that's the end of row 1, and you want to just pause here and double check that you have the correct number of stitches. So there should be 13 half double crochets. Yep, that's correct. So then we're going to chain 1 and turn to start row 2. So this is what you want it to look like at the end of when you've finished row 2. And you can see that we've formed the bottom half of the first row of diamonds. So you've got 4 V shapes. And how we actually form that, if you have a look at this one where each of those raised trebles have been worked in a different colour, so you can see how it's made up. So we need to start off with a raised treble forward, and then we have 3 of the raised treble chevrons, and then ending the row with a raised treble going backwards. So hopefully with those different colours it makes it a bit easier to understand how you're forming that shape. So I'll show you how we're going to work that. So in our first row we've got 13 half double crochets, and then do a chain 1 at the end and turn the work. So start the treble as normal by yarning over twice, and then we want to work into the stitch that's 2 rows below. So this is 1 row below, 2 rows below, and 1 stitch forward. So where we're working the base of this raised treble is into that second foundation chain across from the end. So we insert the hook in the front of there, yarn over and pull up a loop. So now yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, and then we just need to anchor it to the top of row 1. So we're working into the first stitch of that at the top of that row, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then we're sort of finishing it off like a half double crochet. So yarn over and pull through all 3, and that's our raised treble forward finished. So now we're going to do a half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and now we're ready to do the first raised treble chevron. So it's basically double what we did here. So first we're going to do a treble going backwards, and we'll join onto the same chain as the raised treble forward, because it's down 1 and back 2, so 1, 2, and then we're going to do a forward treble here, So let's start that. Yarn over twice and inserting into the same chain as that raised treble forward. Yarn over and go through the first two, yarn over and through the second two. So we're not going to close that off. We're now going to yarn over twice and do the forward leg. So the easiest way here is to count the chains. So skip 2, third one across, pull up a loop. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, and then we're anchoring it and we're just working into the next, sorry, can you see that? The next stitch across in the top of row 1. So insert the hook, pull up a loop. So now we've got 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 4. And that's our treble chevron finish. So we can see now we've got the start 1.5 diamond bottoms there. So we'll keep going to the end of that row, repeating that pattern. So we've got half double crochet, half double crochet, and then we're doing our next raised treble chevron, so yarn over twice. Again, we don't have to really count the stitches, just go into the same loop as our last raised treble. And then yarn over twice, do the forward leg, so skipping 2 chains, going to the third chain across, yarn over. Again, find the next stitch in the top of the row, run, pull that through. So 2 more half double crochets. You can see what it looks like now. So we're doing our last raised treble chevron. So again, work into that same loop as the last raised treble. Skip 2 chains and go into the third one across. Okay. When we've got 3 stitches left, anchor it to the top of the stitch in row 1. Now we do 2 more half double crochets, and you can see now we've got the bottom of 1, 2, 3 diamonds, and we need to finish off this last one. So this is our raised treble backwards, and we're going again into the same foundation chain as the last raised treble. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops twice, and then anchor it to the top of the last stitch in that row. And that's our first row, that's our row 2 finished. So in row 3, you're just working 1 half double crochet in each stitch across. At the end, chain 1 and turn. And now in row 4, we need to form the top half of the diamonds, working the raised treble chevrons the whole way across. So we're going to just do a half double crochet in the first stitch. Now we're doing a raised treble chevron that the base is going to join to here and here. And for this one on the end, what I've found is we need to work this one a little bit differently. So I'll actually work into sort of the top loops that are at the front there, just to anchor that nicely and keep the definition on our diamond on the edge. And now for the rest of the stitches across, we're actually just working underneath those posts. So you can see these raised trebles are just sitting in front of the other stitches. So yarn over twice and just insert your hook under both the legs of that raised treble chevron. Then yarn over twice, going through those loops and anchoring to the next stitch in row 3. So you can see we've worked one treble chevron and it's formed our first diamond. So we just need to repeat that pattern all the way across. So half double crochet, half double crochet, and then our next raised treble chevron. So now we're connecting here and here. So yarn over twice. Again, insert the hook under both the legs or the posts of that treble chevron in row 2. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over twice, connect to the next one across. And now anchor to the next stitch that's in row 3. Okay, so if we flatten it out a bit, we can see we've formed 1, 2 diamonds. So continue that pattern, half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Then our next treble chevron joining this point and this point. And anchor to the next stitch in row 3. We've got 3 diamonds, 1 more to go, so we do half double crochet, half double crochet. So we just need to work our last raised treble chevron. So going back around this post from the previous one. And then for the end, we actually want to, like the first stitch, just work into the top loops. And then we're anchoring it here. And now you should have 2 stitches left to work 2 more half double crochets. And that's the end of row 3, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 diamonds. So in row 5, again we've just done 1 half double crochet in each stitch across, and at the end we want to chain 1 and turn. So now we're doing the bottom half of the next row of diamonds. So we need to start with a raised treble forward. So in row 2 we're working into the chain, but this time we can just work around both posts of that raised treble chevron from row 4. So pulling up a loop from under there, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, and then we're anchoring it just to the first stitch in row 5. Okay, so now we can do 2 half double crochets. And now we're ready to do our first raised treble chevron. So we're going to be connecting to the point of this diamond and the point of this diamond. So yarn over twice, insert your hook under both of the posts of that one, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over twice, and now we're working around the point of the next diamond. So pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, and then we find the next stitch here to anchor to. Pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 4. So we can see this is our first row of diamonds, and we've formed the bottom half of the first diamond in row 2 and started on the second diamond here. So we're just repeating that to the end. 2 half double crochets, and then we do our raised treble chevron, connecting to the points of the 2 diamonds below. Half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then we're doing our next raised treble, so joining from the tip of this diamond and this diamond. Anchoring to the next stitch in row 5. So we're nearly at the end of the row. 2 more half double crochets, and then if we have a look now, we can see the bottom of 1, 2, 3 diamonds, and we just need to finish this 4th one. So we're doing that raised treble backwards here. And anchor to that last stitch from row 5. Okay, so that's row 6 finished. So now we need to chain 1 and turn. And when you're working on this side, it's always just half double crochet in each stitch. So go ahead and work those. So now we're at the end of row 7, chain 1 and turn. So here we need to form the tops of our diamonds, the same as we did in this row, in row 4. So we're going to do exactly the same again. So that was half double crochet in the first stitch, and then our raised treble chevron in the next stitch where the base goes around to these 2 points. So remember, when you're working the top of the raised treble forward, it's best to work into those 2 sort of front facing loops instead of around the post. And we go to this one. and anchoring into the next stitch along in that row 7. So we can see we've now finished the second diamond here. So we're just going to repeat that pattern across, 2 half double crochets, and then the raised treble chevron. So just finishing that row with 2 half double crochets. So we can see now we've got our 2 rows of diamonds. So you need to just repeat rows 5 to 8 again, so you've got 3 rows of diamonds. So go ahead and do that, and then we'll meet back up and I'll show you how to do the border. So now that we've done our 12 rows, you can see that we've got 3 rows of diamonds. And so this time we're going to chain 1, but don't turn. And we're going to start working the border. So keeping the front facing towards you, start working the border down this side and then across the bottom, back up here. We'll add a loop here and then across the top. So you want to work 1 stitch, 1 single crochet into the end of each row. So I like to work through here. And then the loops. So the rows that ended with half double crochet, I try to work in here, and the rows that have that chain on them, I work through the center of the chain. But you can go anywhere as long as you have 1 single crochet per row. So when you get to the end of this first side, you're going to be working into, this is one of the chains from the foundation chain, and we want to put 2 single crochets into that one. So 1, 2. And that helps with turning at the corner. And we should have 13 single crochets on this side. Okay, so now we can start working across the bottom of the square, which will be a bit easier. So you're working around the foundation chains. Though some of them are a bit tight. So just work 1 single crochet into each of the foundation chains. And when you get to the chain that has the raised trebles worked into it, I find if you just work in from this side, so find kind of the point there and work your hook through from the left hand side like this. Then it helps bring the point of the diamond in. You can see that that's now tighter than these are the ones that haven't been worked. So just continue across the bottom here like that. So now we've finished the bottom edge, and so you can count across here, you should have 13 single crochets. So we're going to start working the second side, and we'll start off with 2 single crochets in the end of the first row, and that's helping us to turn the corner. So 1, 2, and you can see I'm just working over the top of that tail that was from the start. So we're just going to do the same as we did on that first side. Now work 1 single crochet in the end of each row until we get to this corner. So go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you what we're doing at that corner to add our loop. Okay, so I've gotten to this corner, and you can see again we've got the 2 single crochets in the end of the first row, and then 1 in every row after that, so you should have 13. And what I'm going to do here is add a small hook for hanging. So just chain 20, and I like to chain this quite tight. Okay, and now we need to join back to the top of our square, and so just joining to the first stitch in that top row and join with a single crochet. Pull that tight. So you can see now we've got our nice little loop, and we just need to work 1 single crochet across each stitch in this top row. Okay, so now we can cut the yarn, cut a long tail. So that's our tail there. Pull it through, and I'll just show you how to do an invisible join. Okay, so what we want to do is you've got the yarn tail coming out through the center of that last loop, and now we're joining around the first single crochet at the start of the border. So just front to back through there and pull that tight. Now find the center of that last stitch and put it back through there. So now you can see that that loop that we finished looks like the top of another stitch. So it just gives that neat finish. And so now you can sew in both those tails. And so there you have your finished diamond textured face scrubby. So the finished measurements of this one is about 9 centimeters across. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. If you did, you can check out my other video tutorials or have a look at my blog for written patterns. Thanks.